Greetings, Earth enthusiasts. If you ever wondered about the incredible perspectives our planet has to offer from high above, you're in the right place. I am Dr. Clive Coetzee, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this captivating journey into the world of remote sensing. Welcome. And please remember to like, subscribe to, and share this video. Thank you. Currently, we're working with the OTB machine learning technique or tool for image classification. We've done a whole lot of them already. So it's in a series. Yeah, we're busy with OTB, machine learning. In 191, we just went through the 3 steps. Unlike some of the others, or most of the others, or all of the others, we only have like one window and you do all your selecting your parameters in there and you run it. This one, you actually have 3 separate steps that you have to follow. So that's the focus of 191. And then 129 is basically where we do our first classification using the OTB machine learning tool. And we use basically just the default parameters. We didn't change it. We just made a standard image classification. So on this video, we're going to continue with this because, as I said, the aim is to develop a spreadsheet, a very comprehensive spreadsheet of all the different tools that we're using, the JK classifier, and so forth. And then the methods within each tool, and putting it down in terms of the pixel count and square meters per land use classification. Remember, we have the 6 land use classifications. We've got 1 which is water, 2 which is veld, 3 which is rocks or mountains, 4 which is agriculture, 5 which is urban areas, and 6 which is sand, bare soils, if I'm correct. And so we generating the characteristics of our region of interest in terms of these land cover classes based on these image classifications. So that's it being done. I said we've done our first OTB, and I said that's just our normal standard default parameters that we have used. Okay, so let's continue with this. So that's that image that we just classified, our classified image based on Sentinel, our raster, stack raster Sentinel image with all our bands and the OTB. Okay, so let's just go back to OTB. Remember, it sits in our processing toolbox. We click on that. Remember, then we're going to go to machine learning. Remember, the first step is always to do the image statistics. But since we're using the same raster stack, I'm not going to do that again. Okay, but just bear in mind that if we use a new image, meaning not the Sentinel raster stack that we've been using, if we do, let's say, another Sentinel stack raster, but for a different time period or with different bands, or we use Landsat, or whatever the case may be, we have to recalculate the image statistics. But for now, we're just going to use the same statistics, image statistics, we're using the same image, okay, the same stack image. Okay, so we're not going to hana with that. However, so that's normally step 1. Then we have to train our image classifier. Okay, so that's just the window that pops out. Now remember, in this case, we're using our stack raster. There it sits. And then we have our image statistics that we've calculated. Remember, it must be an XML file. Now the question is, where is this thing going to be? And it should be image statistics. Let's see if we can find it. Network class. Now finding that image statistic is now going to be the biggest. I know it's in a file that looks like that. Let's see if we can find it. Sentinel stack. Is it this one stack? No, that's not that. Gosh, now I can't find the damn thing. Because it says X. Okay, let's try XML. Nope. It's not going to do that either. So I think we might just have to, because it doesn't display XML. It's supposed to display XML files. Sentinel stack. I almost think it's this one here. Why do I think it's this one here? Yes, Sentinel stack stats. Yes, that's correct. There we go. Got it. Stats. So that's why it's important to flip and name your stuff correctly. Otherwise, you'll forget. That's our training file that we have to add in there. And then here we have to say it's the ID column within the training file. So we've got our inputs raster, which is our stacked raster. We've got our training file. We said in our training file which column. We've got our stats, our image stats. The rest we leave exactly the same, except the training part. Remember, I prefer to do an 80-20 split. Okay, and I'm going to leave all the parameters exactly the same as which we did in this particular one. Okay, as we did in this particular one. What I want to do is to include, because it gives you the option here to include the digital elevation model and see whether that makes any difference. Okay, now as I said, I've brought in, if you look at there, I brought in a digital surface model. There it sits, and a digital elevation model. There it sits. I didn't do the color schemes and all those things for the digital elevation model. I didn't do it for the digital surface model. So I've got two elevation models that I brought in there. Okay. So let's do the first one. So I'm leaving all of the parameters exactly the same. I'm not changing anything compared to our default image, classified image. All I'm going to do is to add a DM directory. So I go to there, and I'm going to say, there's my DM. Okay, so if I go to this DM, you'll see there's my DM file. You'll see it has the DM image. Okay, TIFF image, the DEM TIFF image, a digital elevation model or digital surface model. It's in there. So I select that folder. So this file, the digital surface image, this image here, is now located within this directory. And I've added it. The rest I leave exactly the same. You'll see it's Lipsum, which is that, linear, which is that, CSV is that, and then we had the 6, and I'll come back to the 6 a bit later, and I'm leaving it exactly the same. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to see if I can copy this. Where's the rename? Copy this. I'm going to copy this. Okay, I've already created it. Okay, let's see there. But let's, for the simplicity, let's do that. Image classification. Let's go. I'm going to override it. Okay, I'm going to override it because I've already done it. So we're going to say, do you want to replace it? Yes. And remember, the output model should be also an XML. So remember here, we're not creating the image, we're just creating the model. Okay, so I'm leaving that as an XML. Okay, all the other stuff we leave exactly as is, and we're going to run. And the model has been created. Now, I said, don't close this. Keep it open. Because now to select everything all the time, every time, is a pain in the butt. So keep it open. We can minimize it a little bit, but keep it open. Once we've done that, we're just going to run our classification. Image classifier. We're going to click on that one. And what input image? We're going to go our stack raster. Our input mask, we don't have it. Model file, that's the one we just created now. So let me make it open. There it sits there. So we're going to go that XML. There's our statistics file. Now I need to find that again. Stats. Let's see where it sits. There we go. We highlighted the model that we just created. That's the image statistics that we just created. Our stack. See, there's the 6 number of classes in the model. We've got 6 classes, so that's why there's a 6. Float I keep exactly the same, and we're gonna leave the, let's call it the confidence map and the output image. Okay, so let's keep it the confidence map. We're not going to worry about it. The probability map, because it doesn't open for whatever reason. So I'm going to save this to my file. And this will be then the TIFF file. And I'm going to just override it anyway. So we're going to say save. Yep. And we're going to run. Okay, so that's done. And there it sits. Now, oh, I shouldn't have closed it. My bad. Let's redo it. Let's redo it. So there's my central rack, model file. Again, this is very frustrating waiting for this to update the whole time. It is done. Is that the XML? Yes. Statistics. Let's just wait for that quickly to happen. Where's my statistics? There's my stats. And then I'm just going to call it, I'm just going to call it the update of, this is already there, it's just going to make it a double M. And we're going to save it. Open file. I'm just going to save it. I'm going to run. Don't close it. Don't close it. Okay, and there it sits. And save. It's getting very temperamental. So then we're going to go to properties. We're going to add the color scheme to it, the color palette. Remember, we have created a standard color scheme or visualization parameters. So let's find it. I think that's not that. Let's just find it. It's not class 2, it's class 1. So let's find, where is that now? There we go. And we're going to open. We're going to load the style. Close, and okay. And let's compare it to the one, and you can see there's no difference. Exactly what I've got. You see with the one that I did previously, again, exactly the same. So adding the DM seems to be really irrelevant, but that's a digital surface model. So let's quickly go, and that's why I say keep this open. So what we're going to do, here I'm going to go to the elevation one, this one here, and see if that works. And then I'm going to go into the M, I'm going to go to SDR, and I'm going to run it. See why it's important to keep both files open? So that becomes easy. So here, all I do here is I keep everything the same. The only thing I change it here is to SDR. I think that's what we called it. Didn't we call it that one? Capital SDR. Yep. And we make it 6. And we call this SDR. You must just remember to make all the references correct. And then we run it. See, keep it open, eh? Keep it open. Very much. And then we just add the color scheme. So let's go color. So adding, see if we can find it. Last one. Load style, close. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Nope. No difference at all. Nope. Nope. No difference at all. So at least we know now that adding our DM directory, except if I use the wrong files or something is wrong, maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe you can assist me and help me and stuff, but it looks something is not adding up. So either I'm doing something wrong or it just doesn't really do anything. I don't know. If anybody has another experience, if anybody knows how it, if it does work or not, or if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know in the comments. Because it means it's a very, very helpful tool, but it doesn't seem to do anything. So I'm just going to delete it. So that's my experience of it. Okay, so that's my experience of it. So let's create an option, a second option. Remember, we have our standard image classification here. So all we've done is this one excludes the DM. Now we've included, but it seems it doesn't make any difference at all. So let's keep it linear. So what shall we do? Shall we do a RBF and we leave CSV the same? And then I'm gonna leave that out. And it's not linear. It's not linear. It is RBF. So I'm just gonna say RBF. And then I'm just gonna copy this part here. I'm gonna run it. It's done. So I'm going back here. That's the same. But now remember our file is now something different. Now it's RBF, and then we just do that. Then that stays the same. So I'm just continuing changing I hope you get the idea. I changed the model, and I changed, then obviously I give it a new name. I changed the name here, and then I'm also change two places here, which is basically this part there as well, except that R must be gone there. So I've run the model, so let's quickly run it. Cool. Look at that. Looks very different. Okay, so let's give it a color scheme. Add the color scheme to it. Add the color scheme, load style. And we're gonna find it somewhere there. It sits. It's not. It's D1. So open. Load style. Close, and okay. But this looks, I mean, yeah, it looks very red. Too much red. Anyway, that's the idea. So, come on. So that's the second one that we've generated. Now again, oops, I did it. I should do 80. Was it at 50? Sorry, I left, keep it there. Alright, that is the 80 there. Okay, so let's keep it lipsum. Let's do one more under lipsum. Let's do poly. Keep all the other stuff the same. I'm just doing this one. I'm just changing it to poly. Keep it the rest the same. Press run. You getting an understanding why we're doing it? Why we're keeping these two things the same or open? So I'm going to go poly here. Poly. And we save it also as poly, and we run. There we go. So we're going to go properties. We're going to go color scheme, load style, select the style. Let's find it. Let's find the style. There we go. Press open. Load the style. Close. And there is that. Let's have a look and see. There's differences, quite sizable differences between the ones. Remember, we've got now the linear one, the RBF, the poly. We've already said that these others doesn't make any sense. In fact, I'm just going to delete it so we don't overburden QGIS with it. So I've got 3 now already done. So let's do someone outside the ellipse. Let's do random. So we do boost and real. Let's keep it exactly the same. Boost. Let's keep it real. Keep all those others ones. So we're going to say it's boost. Boost and then real. Real. And there is no CS, whatever. 6 week count. Okay, so I presume it must be 100, which is the real count here. 95. We'll keep all the other ones exactly the same. Let's press run. Yep, it does work. I just want to quickly copy this code here so that we can do it correctly here. Parameters. Let's paste it in there. Boost and real, and then we're going to save it with the same name. And let's press run. Okay, so don't close it. Huh? Don't close it. Let's save. But you see, it doesn't really do anything. It gives a confidence map, but you can see the actual image itself is actually not, it only does 1 or 2. So let's delete. So we know that doesn't work. Remove layers. Okay, let's go. You can play around it. We just did one. Let's go to boost. Let's go random forest, RF. Leave maximum depth 3, leave everything again the same. So we're going to say it's a random forest. And it's going to be 5 and 10. Random forest, 5 and 10. Remember that 6 at the end is the number of classes. So let's run it. Okay, that's done. We're going to go to our classifier. Let's do that part there. That stays the same. And we change that part there. Stays the same. And we're going to say run. Okay, so in this case, it does give a confidence map, interestingly enough. But let's just give the color scheme first. So we're going to go to load style. We're going to go, and we just go and fetch the style. Class 1, press OK, load style, close. OK, and there is that one. So that's a random forest. That's the Lipson poly. That's the Lipson RBV. And that's the Lipson linear. And that is the random forest 5 and 10. Actually, the random forest one actually here looks actually very good. Anyway, we will have to test them. But I think you get the idea. You think that we get the idea. You play around with the parameters. That's why I keep these two windows open. We don't have to do the stats the whole time because we're using the same Sentinel image. So I'm not doing the stats the whole time. So I'm just changing the parameters in the model and then use the model details and I'll add into my classifier and I run. And so I continue because if I close this, I have to start all over again and stuff. So I'm just leaving it. So we've done the random forest. K nearest neighbors. So we're going to do a K nearest neighbors. Let's do that quickly, and then I'm going to, and then, so that will be K nearest neighbors, and that is 32, and that is 0. So again, just copy that code there, and we're going to run it. Don't forget to run it now, huh? And then we're going to go. Then we're going to go and change this there. Change it there to that specific code, and we're going to change the output to that. Make sure everything is sorted. Press run. There we go. There's our confidence map. So these ones does create confidence maps. Anyway, let's have a look and see how that looks like. And we're going to go to style, load style. And we're going to go, you see, with the OTB machine learning, there's lots and lots of permutations, lots and lots of parameters, so different combinations of the parameters. You can sit and do it for hours and hours and hours to do each and every combination, as it will take a bit of time, will take a bit of effort, and again, you don't know whether it will actually make a huge difference. But nonetheless, it is an option to do. Okay, so there is our image that we've just created using the k-nearest neighbor. There's that specific image, and let's have a look and to see how that compares. So that's our k-nearest neighbors, that's our random forest, that's our lip SVM, yeah, and so you continue. But as I said, the important part is keep these two windows open, so it saves you a hell of a lot of time and a lot of energy if you keep these two open, so you just run between the two of them. And that's it. That's OTB. As I said, there's lots of combinations of these parameters that you can follow. That's totally up to you. I'll do a couple more, and then, as I said, we'll complete the spreadsheet, and then we can start comparing how the OTB compares to the other options. Okay. So with that said, let me end the video here. Just to say thank you again for all your support. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And please go and like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff that you know how to do. Press those buttons. And then I'll see you on the other side.